Good afternoon, everyone. This is Darin Benton with Performance Motorcoaches. Wanted to do a video of an available as of this video, which is November 13th. Is that our date? November 13th, 2025. So this is a 2026 Renegade Valencia. This is the 39BB. They changed the floor plan a little bit to encompass a kitchen slide, basically starting in 2026. So this is one of the first units that we obviously have out there. It's the Tundra paint scheme, which is just solid white. We sell a lot of solid white bunkhouses, so we just thought it to be a good idea to bring it in just a solid white. We do a lot of blackout package. The reason why we don't bring them in from Renegade with the blackout package, because these items right here are left black from Renegade. These are all items that we can we generally buy new pieces from Freightliner, depending on if somebody wants gloss or matte, but those are all pieces that we generally do that are a little bit more in depth on a blackout package. We can definitely do more customization on a blackout package. So this probably will get a blackout package. I'll tell you what, as far as the bunkhouse floor plans, we've seen a lot of families, even older families, just be able to utilize the storage space. Once we get inside, I'll be able to show a lot more of that. But all in all, a great kind of little redo from Renegade for the 26 model Valencia, as far as the floor plan and also the decor itself. So the chassis is on a Freightliner S2 RV. So basically what Freightliner did, they got together with the RV division and said, we're gonna build an RV specific chassis. So the batteries are shipped loose. The fuel tank is reared to the axle. Already has the cutout. They do the 3000 series Allison transmission. So this is a 6.7 liter. It is 360 horse, 800 foot-pounds of torque. It does have like a more performance type mode in the transmission. And once you know how to operate it, you'll probably want to operate it like that all the time because it's fun to drive. I drove over 15 miles to our little property here to do a video and some pictures. We'll get it back the other side of town and on the road, but definitely a fun little coach to drive. Very easy to drive, very not intimidating at all. You know, I'm 6 foot, a little over 6 foot, so it's really easy to see in and out of the cab. 55-degree wheel cut, so whenever you want this coach to go this way or this way, it will follow through. So very easy to drive. See a lot of people that are either going to upgrade from, say, a Sprinter chassis, or people that have had pushers in the past and want to be able to go to a Super C. So great job from Renegade. We'll go ahead and just kind of jump into it. So this does have the third slide. The nice thing about Renegade is the consistency of all their product. This is the same baggage door you get all the way up to their XL line. They do a great job. Dual latch, does have a combined storage compartment right here. So if you had something a little bit longer to be able to push in there, makes it pretty darn handy. Which will have some turnouts if you were going to be plugging, you know, like a 110 inside. You wouldn't have to slam the door. You just run it through that little turnout there. Outdoor TV is standard. Nice thing about the outdoor TVs, if you have a little bit of sun glare, you pull the TV, you move it this way or this way to be able to kind of get out of that. So all smart TVs. It is an Insignia versus they go up to Samsung on the Verona, but operation-wise, I don't know if there's too much difference. Of course, you can always tell the bunkhouses because of the windows stacked top to bottom. This is the largest unit that they build with propane heat versus aqua hot heat. There's many battles, many discussions back and forth on propane heat. I prefer hydronic heat, but I tell you what, the propane we don't have any problems with. And so if you read all about them online, you're gonna have less potential problems with propane versus the hydronic. So much more simplistic unit, a little bit less intimidating to operate from a standpoint of very simple furnace and very simple water heater as well. So two-piece rear cap. They redesigned the rear cap in 2023. Definitely a good looking cap, some nice body lines to it. We do have some vertical lights in there. We can always add additional lights up top if somebody wants that. The nice thing about the two-piece rear cap, you damage the lower piece, we can put that in a box and be able to FedEx it or UPS it to you versus having to replace that entire cap. It gets a little pricey to even move that down the road. They've upgraded the Gen Y hitch, so it's a 12,000 pound hitch capacity, which is really, you know, about the max for this particular chassis. It's going to tow it no problems whatsoever, but if you're looking for more towing capacity, we recommend going up to a little bit larger coach. So nice short cord there. We do have the transfer switch. It's a smart transfer switch to let you kind of know what's going on amp-wise and also voltage-wise, each individual leg. The Truma Aqua Go, which is a basically on-demand water heater. They've come leaps and bounds. I was not a big fan of these when they first came out about 10 years ago. They've done so many things to improve these. Most of these will have a small reservoir. They turn over the water relatively fast inside, so you don't get these huge spikes. So that was a problem back in the day, but really not a concern at this day and age. So 8K generator is a standard generator all the way up to the Explorer, so keep that in mind. Sorry for the loud. We're along a pretty major road, and it's quitting time here in Indiana. It's 1:30. We're just getting started. So the fuel tank is a single 100-gallon. It's between the frame rails. The only thing that's a little bit pain, you still have to fill your depth up front, but they alleviate some of the weight off the front axle by doing the 100-gallon fuel tank right back here. We'll jump into the wet bay. There again, Renegade does a phenomenal job on their wet bays. Everything is water jetted in that. Most of the stickers don't really pertain, so if a sticker falls off, it's not general operation, it's just some mild little warning. But do have a whole house water filter. You do have really nice sea level monitoring there, and then very simple operation as far as your gray and your black. Over here you do have a Mascerator pump on board. That's an optional pump, and we do have the the hose reel underneath there. They did go ahead and move the Stinky Slinky out of this compartment and get it next to the generator. So we do have 12-volt heat pads on the bottom side of those. If you're going to take these into more extreme conditions, we'd probably outfit some type of a 12-volt or 110 ceramic heater in those compartments to be able to generate some heat. But great for, like right now, I think it got down to 30, so something like that's definitely not an issue. Once you get down to that 15, you really have to worry about a lot more. Of course, propane on board. You kind of debatable on doing the remote fills. The problem with those is if you have an issue with, you got to crawl underneath. Nice having propane right here to be able to access and see if you have any issues. You do have a tank monitor on board there. The coach is option with lithium, so the maximum number of lithiums you can do from the factory are 3, so you got 300 amp hours of lithiums. We could always take and upgrade that, so I think 2 of the 400 amp hour TBs would probably fit in that position without having to take any other room. It's been snowing here. Kind of waited for these things to get out. I didn't want to drive them in the nastiness, but you can see on that floor mat, it's been a little nasty around. But like I said, very easy cab entry. You do have heated seats, and there are turning pedestals as well. Because it's a relatively short hood, it's easy to see down over the edges. Like I said, not intimidating at all. So we'll jump inside. They started doing, kind of mid-year, they started doing a keyless entry on your handle there. So I always like to commend Renegade on building a unit that's very usable with the slides in. I turned the heat up for Miss Shauna Lee so that way she wouldn't be cold. Feels pretty nice inside here. Heat's been on for about an hour. It was 30 degrees this morning, so nice and toasty inside. But you can see I can get to my dinette. I could convert this down if I need to take a nap. I could lay down on the couch. I can get to my refrigerator. I can wash my hands. I can get down here to my mid bunks or the bath itself. So a fair amount of room within the coach itself. I'll bore you guys and extend the slide. So the equalizer hydraulic leveling system is, they tie into that for the hydraulic slide right here. This is the same slide that they've used for almost 20 years, but they integrated a hydraulic ram instead of electric motor on that about 2 years ago. One thing I really like about the Valencia is they do they delete the overhead storage over your dinette here. Just makes it a little bit easier to see out the window. Yeah, you lose a little bit of storage, but I just think all in all it looks a little bit better. I'll go ahead and run the rear slide as well. So still using the Schwintek slides on their kitchen slide and then their closet slide. Cape Cod is the stain color. They went to a 5 sheen, so relatively low sheen, starting in 2026. Kind of a little bit more classy look than the high gloss of the past. And so a little bit less depth on the slide right here because it does have plumbing within the slide, but still give you some more floor space here. So we configured this coach with just a regular sofa sleeper right there. It does flip all the way out, be able to accommodate 2 people there. Said the convertible booth dinette, it drops down. We have 2 cushions underneath there that will take and use as filler cushions. A lot of the people will pull those out. Of course, changed up the decor a little bit. Did some of the, is gold the appropriate term here? Would this be? So gold. Anyway. We'll try to make it sound any fancier than it is. They changed this up a little bit, so instead of using the little pins in the past, this will slide back and forth. But a lot of people, even the people that don't plan on anybody sleeping up here, it's just nice to have this extra storage. I couldn't imagine having a coach without this. It's a little bit, you don't really get that much wind noise, but just having that big opening coupled with being able to put items in there, you can take and pull this back, block this off, so it just makes it, all in all, I think a better use of space. This does have, you can open and close that. Even today, it's kind of crazy. You know, it's probably 40 degrees right now, but you get a lot of heat from the sun. So you can obviously close that off. For the people in Texas, we generally take a little bit step further and build like a little insert to go in there to kind of circumnavigate some of the heat. So class up the floor a little bit. All in all, when I compare this 2026 to 2022, leaps and bounds. They were always a good solid product. They just didn't have a lot of eye appeal. That's one thing that's been interesting. Watch people, make trades throughout time. They've always been known for great quality. It's only been the last, depending upon the product, anywhere from the last 6 to 8 years for them to really kind of put a lot of eye appeal into the product. Last year they started doing dovetail all the way through the product line. Just be able to kind of meet people's expectations. Renegade is not a cheaper product. They don't try to compete with anybody else as far as a price point, but it's a better product, no doubt. They started doing this about a year ago. I've always hated all of the sink covers because they don't have a home for them, and lo and behold, we now have a home for them. Be able to put those in. You don't have to worry about them falling off, rattling while you're driving down the road. You put them in there. If it were me, I would drop them off into the earth. But some people like to have them in place. Maybe one or something like that if you're doing some cutting, but I wouldn't want to scratch the edge. Just my particular preference, but that would be great. It's relatively heavy and heavy duty, and they do have the nice thumb lock on there. But all in all, a really good job, a fair amount of storage here. No more plastic sinks. Nice stainless steel sink. Open up some of these. It's difficult to kind of really get the idea or the true sense of the Cape Cod. It's really kind of a sandy, like a really light. Unfortunately, a lot of the light makes it look a lot more gold than it is in real life. So you definitely want to inspect every single photo because you'll get 10 photos that don't really represent and 1 photo that does. So make sure you really look at all the photos. Nice big pantry here. We got the electrical. That's deep. Starlink up there. Looky there, kids. Starlink. So a ton of space here. TV does have a swing arm. It will take and fold out. Started doing this. Keep kids from falling down the step well. This product does not come with a step cover. That's something that we can easily add at the dealership as well. Kind of no-brainer there. You can close it off. It doesn't rattle while you're driving down the road. But all in all, just a nice setup. Like I said, these are turning pedestals. They do the Garmin there, and they do a backup monitor up higher. Michigan Hillbillies. So we'll go back here. It's a little tight. I'll kind of walk through, and then we'll take and flip-flop around. So I bring my bunkhouses in with these doors. The reason why I bring the coaches in with these We get so many people that will buy this floor plan and never use the bunk beds. Or use the bunk beds once a year. I'm gonna put grandkids in there once a year. Hey, we're gonna have a guys, fishing trip, and my husband and the kids are gonna go. So this is relatively simple to pull out. Basically, you have 4 pieces, and this entire piece comes off. It is a little bit pain to get in and out of there with this in place, but once this pulls off, you go right in and out. Of course, not a big deal here. And guess what? All this is convertible. So you could just make it into a really large closet. In fact, we got a guy that's going to build a bunkhouse floor plan. We're going to turn this into the biggest closet ever, and we're going to take the what would normally be a shower right here, more closet, crazy closet. So keep that in mind. We can kind of do some deviations. So I'm kind of cruise back here. The nice thing, you can see all the storage within this slide right here. Nice big closets on either side, and then a ton of room underneath, and the drawer big enough for the baby. Put the baby right in there. So fixed here, you'll see the water tanks, and then a ton of room to be able to put more stuff right there. You put you could put whatever, you could probably go on the side of that. I think it'd be cool is you could make it a dog. And you could put cut a little door in right there and put the dog in there. The dog could have like a little crate. That's a good idea. I think that's a great idea. We love our dogs, but sometimes we love them to go away. So that'd be perfect. You wouldn't have to, just a small little opening right there. Dogs in, dogs out. And then if we want to spy on them, we can open up the whole bed. So 150 gallons of water below the bed. Nice little home for this guy right here, for your big ladder that goes into your bunk over. So 66 by 75 inch long mattress. For our customers that are relatively tall, we can do a flip over mattress, be able to hang a full 80 inches over the top here. But nice, you could put all your cell phones. So like if if you're a dual cell phone kind of person, if you're in the business, and you put this day cell phone here, nighttime cell phone here. But nice room, and all the overhead storage. Did I mention 15,000 BTU air conditioners with heat pumps? So there again, if you wanted more storage, we could take these out. We could do a combo. Lots of different things that are out there, but nice, good quality cabinets. It's the same basic quality cabinet you get all the way up to the XL line as well. Let's flip-flop around. So the only thing that I noticed is a little bad. So your furnace is right here. Be great for Shauna. So furnace is right here. Your thermostat reads off of the front. So Shauna would like it until she got too hot. So if that door was closed and she burns up, she's going to come flying into the bedroom and or the living room and say, shut it down, shut the heat down. So, but we could easily go through and just be able to cap one of those heat registers off here. Like I said, it's here, but then it kind of blows out here and there. So small little things. That's why we encourage people to come stay with us for a day or two, because people have certain preferences. Hey, I know it's built like this, but can you do this? Can you accommodate these ideas? It's a great idea to come out and see us for a day or so. Come out and stay in your coach and enjoy it and figure out what you like and what you don't like. So come in the mid bath here. Pick this guy up. I know that's RV antifreeze, so I won't get too crazy with it. Be able to rinse, your feet off, the dogs, kids, anything like that. I like having that set up right there. Put that into place. I'm gonna bore people. Now we're going back in. I don't know, that doesn't look too RV antifreeze. Hopefully it doesn't freeze. Oh, it is. So open this up, some convertible shelving within that, but a decent amount of storage here. Storage over the top. Do the proverbial toilet set. It's toilet seating. See that? So good room in here, even if the door's closed, not a problem. Not a two-person, unless I was showering, Shauna was doing her makeup, and then when she got too hot, she kind of come flying out of there. But all in all, very impressed. They just, I've just really never loved the Valencia. Can I say that? I've just never loved the Valencia, and I really love it now. They've done so many things to appeal inside and outside. They've taken this from a relatively boring but great built product. I don't want to take that away from to aesthetically pleasing. I think it appeals to the masses. So many people were buying your Jaycos strictly for eye appeal, and we've seen hands, over and over and over where they would buy those units and be unhappy with them quality wise. So, and we've had people trade from, a sexy Jayco or Accolade or whatever to, Renegade, even the 22 model back Valencia. So great to have something that we're really proud of, be able to welcome customers to be able to trade them back in and really want that product sitting there. So I'm very happy to have it. Our first Valencia, I think it sold in a week or two. So our hopes were to get more and more product. Be able, if you don't know anything about us, check us out. Check out the dealership online. We try to keep everything inside. Be able to walk from coach to coach in a nice, friendly environment. Be able to. We really want people to make an appointment so we can show you. I can show you this coach, this coach, this coach, and walk through and be able to show you all the differences versus here you go, kids, figure it all out. And being able to do it inside makes it nice, whether it's too hot, too cold, the wind, anything like that. Just allows us to be able to do it in a more comfortable setting, be able to go from coach to coach. So keep that in mind. We do have 7 more coaches that are coming. No more Valencias for a while. We do have some Veronas. Dropped off a 3-side Verona, very similar to this up front. Yesterday, that'll be at the dealership. Our website is pmcrv.com. Always appreciate you guys watching these videos. Look forward to doing a few more in the next few days. Make sure you guys like, tag, and subscribe.